What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so back when the Miami Heat, the Heatles, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh were dominating the NBA, one of the arguments people like to make, especially those who were Heat fans, and usually the loudest and most boisterous were LeBron fans, who were momentarily Heat fans. They would like to make this swap as far as trying to insinuate that LeBron and Wade were the better duo. Because you had some people saying they would, at the time, they might have been the most dominant duo ever. More dominant than Shaq and Penny, which I think is rather laughable, and more dominant than Pippen and Jordan. And they would say, well, if you switched LeBron James and Wade with Pippen and Jordan and put them on the 90s Bulls, they would have won even more than 6 championships. They would have won 7 or 8 championships or whatever the case may be, right? So it's just, in their minds, as simple as slipping those two in a different era, and somehow they would be more dominant. But I think when you really analyze this situation, you have to look at these things a lot deeper. Number one, LeBron James himself has only been successful when he's played one way, which is the system. Now, over the years, just from sheer experience and repetition, he's gotten a little bit better playing off the ball, right? A little bit better playing off the ball. But we can definitely argue that back then, he struggled playing off the ball. Matter of fact, that's one of the main reasons why they lost, despite the sheer talent of the Miami Heat team, why they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. So what I'm getting at is, how on earth are LeBron James and Dwayne Wade collectively going to succeed playing in the triangle offense, which is based upon movement, player movement, and not having the ball in your hands consistently? Also, it definitely helped in the triangle offense to be a mid-range jump shooter. LeBron was never the greatest mid-range jump shooter, and definitely back then. So these are the things you got to look at. Could LeBron and Wade in that era be successful, especially LeBron James, without the usual pieces and components that he normally has to win? That being, usually he has to have up front a stretch 4, and usually other players that can take up the slack defensively and can knock down outside shots. Now, the defense part is not going to be a problem, but Horace Grant was not a stretch 4. Dennis Rodman was not a stretch 4. So that probably is not going to work. So it's going to have to rely on, you're going to have to rely on, like I said earlier, a guy like Wade and especially LeBron hitting outside shots, more long mid-range shots, and the occasional outside shot. That's not their strength. So it's like I said before, it's not as simple as just swapping players. You got to look at so many different aspects of the game. Another thing, Dennis Rodman was a wild card. Dennis Rodman did not succeed, although he put up numbers. He was not succeeding as a teammate. He wasn't gelling with teams and players after the Pistons fired Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly was their stabilizer. He didn't succeed in San Antonio from a team standpoint. Oh, he did average 17 rebounds a night, but he wasn't succeeding as far as being a productive member of that team, as far as getting along with others. When it was David Robinson was there. You see what I'm saying? David Robinson's an all-time great. So it's not about talent. Michael Jordan was that guy that he respected. Michael Jordan brought the best in Dennis Rodman, especially the first 2 years in Chicago. I don't see LeBron James being that leader. I don't see LeBron James being that aura-inducing figure that's going to bring out the best in Dennis Rodman. Because as we all know, LeBron James is not a leader. He's not. So I can see, when you look at the fact that in the past, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were playing in the weakest Eastern Conference in some 60 years, they were underachieving. I could see Dennis Rodman act the fool, finding excuses to act the fool, not practicing, going to Vegas, and doing a whole bunch of dumb-ish. The physicality of the game at that time. Will LeBron and Wade be able to deal with the game's physicality? Now, I have to tell you, as I'm thinking about this in my mind, I think LeBron would fare worse than Wade. I think Wade would have to make some adjustments, but LeBron, despite all of the accolades about him being so strong and, this big, bulky guy that can deal with so much physicality, we know that he flops all the time. He cries and whines and complains. I don't see him having... Look, the Boston Celtics, an over 30 version of Garnett, Pierce, and Allen made LeBron rage quit in Cleveland and go join a super team. I kind of see the bad boy Pistons. I kind of see him doing the same thing playing against those guys. Another thing, who would be the number one option offensively? Would it be Dwayne Wade, whose game is more acclimated, I would say, for 90s basketball at that time? Or would it be the prima donna, who's probably going to hurt the team, trying to drive to the paint and getting fouled and knocked senselessly by the enforcers of the NBA, a la Charles Barkley, Charles Oakley, Shaq, Jason Williams, et cetera, Xavier McDaniel, you name them, the Davis boys, you know what I'm talking about. Also, could LeBron James replicate what Michael Jordan did if he did get the green light? The same Michael Jordan who averaged an NBA record 33.4 points per game in the postseason. The same Michael Jordan who had 5 postseason series of averaging at least 40 points per game and set the NBA Finals record of averaging 41 points per game. I mean, we know that he scored 40,000 points, but that's just because he's played a billion years. He's supposed to be this pass first guy. So how is he exactly going to put up these numbers of scoring? Despite the game evolving to become more offensively friendly, Wade and LeBron in their eras, on their worst teams, never had a series averaging 40 points per game. But you're going to tell me in a more defensive oriented era, LeBron and Wade are going to somehow have series performances that eclipse that of Michael Jordan. Oh, by the way, same Michael Jordan who's being handicapped playing in the triangle offense. Oh, yeah, this same Michael Jordan, who everyone says is a ball hog, also had a series where up until game 5, he was out assisting Magic Johnson and wound up averaging over 11 assists per game in that series, a number that not even LeBron James has been able to replicate in an actual individual series. So anyway, that's pretty much my argument that no, this duo would not have succeeded in Chicago. At the very least, they wouldn't have won 6 championships. Hell, together, they underachieved in Miami, winning only 2 or 4 titles. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. So anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.